Chop it up with your boy Zaz.
Hey, y'all ready?
No shit, it's you.
Hey, 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 yeah, hey. Let's chop it up. Let's chop it. Let's chop it up. Let's chop it. Yeah, let's chop it up. Let's chop it up. Let's chop it up. Let's chop it.
All right. Welcome to Let's Chop It Up with Zaz. We got here today, Rex. What's going on, Rex?
Peace and blessings, King. Thank you for taking time with me. You already know.
All right. Yeah. So tell us, what's been going on with Rex, man? What's going on, you know?
So September 11th, almost 2 weeks now ago, I dropped a new album, The Hunger Inside, Never Get Satisfied.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a great project. I'm really proud of this project. It's a culmination of all the albums and different things that have gone on throughout my career, culminating into this whole brand new growth. And it's an incredible feeling album. So I'm real excited about it, and I'm real excited about what I'm doing outside of the album. A lot of people know me. I'm deep into health and wellness, and my tribe and village, we're all about health and wellness, be it meditation, yoga, the food that we put in our body, the way we treat our skin as melanated people on this earth, making sure we get out and get some sunlight and sunshine and just improve upon the glow. So I feel blessed to be able to be in this new chapter of my life.
Oh, that's a beautiful thing, man. That's a beautiful thing. Well said. So, you've been around, Rex.
Yeah.
You've been around. So tonight we're going to praise you and we're going to celebrate your success and your catalog tonight. It's all about Rex. You understand what I'm saying?
It's humbling, King. You got me cheesing over here. I'm smiling, man.
Hey.
It's a beautiful feeling to be able to get to where I am now and to get the acknowledgement and the love from the people. So I really appreciate you, King.
Yes, Rex, man. We love everything you did, brother. We're going to start off with Gray Hairs.
Okay.
Woo!
Yeah.
My brother, the production on that album was insane. And you was deep into it when it came to the Gangstar Foundation.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Well, so Gray Hairs was a period following the time when I was actually about to stop doing music. I had my first son, Isaiah, who's now 17 years old, making his own music, which is, you guys, you're gonna be in for some great surprises with my son.
Okay.
But he was just being born, and my wife at the time, my ex-wife, we were going through the motions of trying to figure out where we were going to be as a black couple, as a young black couple, coming of age, trying to figure out how to just raise a young man. And so I really didn't want to. I didn't really have the wherewithal or the knowledge that I have now in terms of the music industry. And so it was going to be a difficult time for me to be focused there. So I wanted to find a career that I could truly just hold and grasp onto. So I was about to call it quits, and Statik Selektah came down to Florida, where I was living at the time. It's funny because life comes in full circle. I'm back down in Florida now. I had come down to Florida after my long stance in Massachusetts, and I was in Florida for about 7 years. And my first or second year there, Statik came down. He had just started Show Off Records, and he was like, "Man, I need you to just do one album." And if it don't work, cool, you can go back to what you're doing, but like, let's just give it one. And that was great hairs, man. Like I was making trips up to the Bronx. Statik was staying in the Bronx at the time. This was before Brooklyn. And, you know, I was going back and forth. You know, the energy was so high, everything that he was doing with terminology at the time, Granite State. He was just building a little movement, and I was just happy to be a part of it. And Gray Hairs was a great culmination from that.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So how was it working with, so how was a session with Rex and Statik Selektah?
Wow,
What was the vibe?
those were some wild sessions. Like, you know, those sessions were a lot of Hennessy, a lot of back and forth arguments, and like, you know, just Statik and I would go at each other's head nonstop, but it was all brotherly love. You know, it's just like, you know, two creatives like working hard to like, you know, make something masterful and timeless, and you know, we were just going at it, and we were just, you know, young and vibrant, trying to like make something like, you know, something that's gonna last forever and that we could be proud of. And you know, it was just natural. Like Statik put on a beat, and I just naturally could like that's where I started getting my quick pen game up. Like, you know, my writing got so swift at the time, or I would have some of those sessions I already had a lot of stuff prepared. And he would just throw on something, and we just like start vibing, and then we create. And then I'd sometimes just send me some beats. I'd go back to Florida, come back for a weekend, and we just bang out like 6 or 7 records at a time. And that's just what it was. But it was always in love. And yeah, like I said, it was definitely a lot of drinking. I was in a different time frame. I was smoking cigarettes at the time, so you know, it's a lot different in my sessions now.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
So yeah, because you can actually tell the chemistry with those songs, man. They were on point. I mean, everything was like insane with that thing. So DJ Premier.
Yeah.
A lot of people, you know, DJ Premier is on another level on his own, man.
Yeah, he's the GOAT. He's the GOAT.
How was it? And how is it to say, man, I work with DJ Premier? It's got to be like honoring.
It's always going to be a major achievement, a lifelong achievement, and I'm appreciative that like I got the opportunity when I did to like, you know, work with someone of his magnitude. He blessed me, you know, a couple of times in my career, so I can truly honestly say, like, you know, I checked off one of like the major checklist bucket list moments, like a little earlier than even expected, a lot earlier than and sooner than a lot of people get the opportunity to. So I'm forever grateful for the opportunity Primo gave me, and the connection that Statik created, because Statik was a major part of making that happen. He brought me to the studio. Where, you know, Primo would just be telling his stories, historic, classic stories, and you know, I was just a fly on the wall at the time, just like sitting back and soaking up the energy and the vibrations that were in the room. So, you know, it was an incredible feeling to like, you know, be able to work with Primo the few times I have, and yo, that's love. You know, I mean, he's the greatest, man.
That's definitely love, man. That is amazing. So working and being around the foundation, that was a big thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Like just being in all those energies and vibrations. Yo, it's just like a feel in New York that like it ain't like nowhere else. You know, coming from, not only just coming from Massachusetts, because I didn't grow up, or I wasn't raised in Boston. Like a lot of people, they equate me to Boston, and I got love for Boston. I lived in Boston a sizable portion of my life. But I'm originally from Lawrence, Massachusetts. If anyone's been to Lawrence, Massachusetts, they know it's a tiny little slither of Mass, and Mass is not a big state in itself. And, you know, coming from that small, impoverished community, like where, you know, like you kind of feel weighed down by, you know, the people that you see remaining in the same position for their entire life. Coming from that small little a speck on the map, it felt incredible to be able to get out and see the big city and get out of different places and to meet some of the great individuals that are connected to the foundation, to like, you know, just more than that, the vibrations of that neighborhood in general. Like so many classic individuals I've been able to blessed to work with, you know, from MOP to like, you know, now Pharaoh, and like so many just incredible artists who have paved the way for us, and it's just it's a great feeling.
That is amazing, man. I mean, you've been around, man. I can't. This is gonna take a little while. So, the second album.
We've been around.
The second album.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that first album, you came out the gate and you were showing off. I think that because of where you came from, I think you took it, you used it to your advantage from where you came from, and then you came over to New York. So you had your own style.
Mm-hmm.
You had your own style.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
Rhythmatic, Eternal King Supreme. I think that album, that album right there was like a yeah, man, I'm here to stay. You know what I'm saying? I'm here to stay. That's the kind of album I felt like it was.
I was definitely staking my claim. Yeah, you hit it on the nail. Like that was my stake in my claim album, and letting it be known that, like, you know, I was gonna be a force to reckon with, like, in terms of like the lyricism and capturing, like, you know, the ability to be creative in this art form. Even though I was like still somewhat of a novice in this industry, especially when it comes to the business aspect and being able to do a lot of things. This is around the time I first started like really traveling the world and being able to, see things that I've never seen coming from the neighborhood I said I came from. So like with this album, I was like, you know, doing a little something a little bit. Like I was trying to show people, you know, Rex came to play in these arenas, man.
You had some
a little bit.
You had some heavy hitters on there, Rex. You had some heavy hitters, man, and you was holding it down, man. You was holding it down with this album, bro.
But again, that's Statik, man. Statik made a lot of the magic happen. You know, like Statik is responsible for so much of the magic, and I can't salute the brother enough for, like, you know, just making certain things happen. Especially like the mind frame was like, with those early joints was like, look, you know, just all you gotta focus on is creating good music. I'll supply the sound bed and you do the rest. You know what I'm saying? So like that's really what it was. You know, like a lot of that, you know, the opportunities, you know, were presented for me, and I was able to like take advantage. You know, and that says a lot, because like not everybody could take advantage. You know, like, you know, when it's all said and done, you still gotta create. You know.
You played your cards right, man. I mean, it was a star-studded release, man. Honestly, that was insane. Where you get that drive from, man?
So when I was going back into the game, and it was like, okay, we're gonna do this for real. Like I was like, I can't do it semi, you know what I'm saying? I got to do it full 100, full throttle, in terms of like, you know, creative juices, in terms of what I put into the booth, my voice, mastering my craft. Like my pen game, I started writing more than I ever wrote. I started mastering, you know, my abilities to deliver. I started mastering the way I perform. Like, you know, that was me really being thrown into the furnace and being like, look, you're in the lion's den right now. So like, yo, you playing with lions and you playing with wolves, and you got to really come sharp. So I was just thrown into the arena, and it was time for me to put that work in. And and obviously my young kings, you know, from day one, you know, very early on, is my son Isaiah, who I mentioned, and then having my son Josiah, who I had right around that time, was those you don't need much more driving force than your legacy, than your progeny. You know what I'm saying? So like they've been my energy, my life force, my reason for my transcendence, more than anything.
So Rex, let me ask you, do you feel like the lyricist Lethal with the pen kind of holds back artists, meaning that a lot of artists are kind of skeptical of saying, yo, can you be on this track with me? Because they feel like they're going to get outshined. What you got to say
Okay.
about that?
Yeah, man. Listen. So I don't really. I've never heard anybody say that they wasn't ready to step in or jump into the arena. With me personally, you know what I'm saying. I've been blessed again to work with some incredible artists. But I do feel like, you know, it's a very ferocious sport we play, and it's, you know what I'm saying, cats be trying to go at each other's neck. I never in any way, shape, or form am looking to like outshine anybody I'm working with, or looking to like state my claim right now that, you know, I'm that go-to for the bars and the lyricism. I be challenging myself to, like, you know, just always up my game, and to age like fine wine, and to be able to, like, you know, like really represent when it comes to my pen game and my artistry, the way I would expect from anybody that, like, I admire, I looked up to, or anybody that you know, saying that that's coming up under me, like, you know, that's just what it is. I don't know, man. Like, some people may be afraid. Some people may be afraid to, like, step into the arena with other artists. I've never been afraid to get in the arena with anybody. Again, because, like, I'm not trying to compete with anybody. You know?
Not intentionally either.
Yeah, not at all. I would never.
See what I'm saying?
When I first came in the game, definitely I was very, like, young, wet behind the ears, and I was like, yo, let me cut this dude's head off. I had that. We all had that. I came up in the old school battle era of, like, you know, battling, but really freestyling. You know, like, I came up with that kind of energy. So that was just normal. But nowadays, and, like, you know, I'd say over the course of the last, like, you know, 6 or 7 years, I've been focused on the craft, and, like, not so much focused on that other aspect of it, making it a contact sport. It don't really got to be about that. Like, I just want to create good vibrations, man.
So to be in the state that you're in, with everything that you accomplished so far, what do you do to, as they say, like, sharpen the craft for the next event, as they say?
I study. I consistently study, and I look inward. I meditate. I do yoga. These things, you know, give me refreshing new looks on life in general. But then, obviously, the books, the countless books I'm reading on a consistent basis, you know, just add to my views of how the world actually operates, and ideas that I can, like, kind of writing material for, and I don't really, like, I don't pay attention to the news or anything of that nature. I'm not versed in what's going on in today's gossip. You're not gonna get that kind of, like, energy from me. Like, I can't really quote who's the poppin' artist of the day, like, so much. So you're not gonna get little punchlines where I'm mentioning who's who of the new artists. Even though, like, when art is incredible, I love to listen to new artists. People be surprised, some of the, like, artists that I do listen to, you know what I'm saying, that, like, you know, they'd be like, oh, I wouldn't expect Rex to be listening to such and such, and that's cool, you know. But art is art, man, and I can respect everybody's art for what it is. You know what I'm saying?
So from you seeing where you came from in the rap game and the industry, to what it is now, what do you got to say? What are your likes and your dislikes about it?
So I think more than anything, I'm going to start with the dislikes. More than anything, what I dislike is our inability to accept people's art for what it is. You know, I don't want to be the old me who was extremely judgmental of things that didn't sound like what I was creating. You know, I'm far removed from that individual. I'm far removed from that you know, aspect of my life. I can appreciate all all artists being who they are, and allow room for all kind of things that can grow within a culture that, you know, is still, it's not in its infancy anymore, but like it still has so much room to grow and expand and have, like, you know, just countercultures and counter genres to cultures and subgenres from brewing off of it. So, you know, there's no license on what hip hop truly is. Like there shouldn't be individuals having a license to say, okay, this is hip hop, that's not hip hop, and you know, having to control all narratives. We should allow hip hop to grow and manifest the way it grows. So I just dislike our inability to be accepted. That's the first thing. The likes. I love the fact that there are artists that are not afraid to, you know, push the envelope, and individuals who have mastered their crafts, and I've been a fan of since a young dude, and I've been able to watch, you know, their careers progress and their growth. You know, and I love how, for instance, I'll mention Black Thought, for instance. Like, Black Thought is getting his flowers a lot now, more than he was getting for various time, where he's always been one of the GOATs. You know what I'm saying? Very early on, from the moment he picked up and started speaking, he said his first rhymes, you knew he was something spectacular and special. I would always have these arguments with my homies, and over the past, like, you know, 5 years, it's Black Thought has moved up for me. Like, Black Thought was always in my top 5. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He had already been there, but, like, you know, he was not above certain individuals. Then he moved, and it was like between him and Nas, and I was like, you know, like, I don't know, man. Like, I can't really put him above Nas on a lyrical tip, but I have brothers who would be like, yo, man, you need to listen better. It's like, yo, it's not that I'm not listening. It's just like I got my preference. You know what I mean?
Yep, your preference.
But Thought is really right there, man. Thought
Isn't he?
And
Isn't
it's
he?
beautiful that he's getting the flowers that he's
Ain't
getting.
that something?
Right now. Yeah.
Man, they doing it. It couldn't have been the most perfect timing right now for that.
Yeah, it's beautiful to see that.
Straight no chaser.
Okay. Yeah.
Woo!
Now that was really a Hennessy bottle.
I'm still here.
Yeah.
I'm still here, man.
That was one of those big. Every session was one of those big boy bottles of Hennessy,
Woo.
and that was me and Statik to the face.
Static to the face.
That was me and Statik. One of those a handle of Hennessy to the face. We would just sit there, boom, straight no chaser. We just created that record. You know.
I felt like that record there, it kind of showed growth from both sides. From when you guys first started working together.
Okay.
I feel like your verses were polished, man. I mean, they were polished.
Thank you.
I know you said that in the second album you was going off with the pen, but I think the third album you mastered the pen.
You know what I gotta say is that's actually not my third album.
Oh, it's not.
Nah. You know no. So even prior to Gray Hairs is in my first album. So my career extends even further
past
back.
that.
Yeah, so like I have 2 albums. Along Came the Chosen is my very first album, and then from Along Came the Chosen, I dropped a super indie album called Reckless. But it came out. It was like both these albums. Along Came the Chosen was that one really did some things. It charted on Billboard. It was a good little piece. But like, yeah, go because this
it's
is
even further now.
That album came out in 2001.
So let's say that the ones that recognized from, I guess, when I was, you know, doing my thing too with that, you was always popping up. Yeah.
So when Gray Hairs, what happened with Gray Hairs is I had a 5-year period where I wasn't even working on music. So that was the growth, because my son was born in 2003. I dropped my first album in 2001, then my second album in 2003. My son was born, and I took 5 years off. That's when I was saying I was not going to do music. You know, I was just going to be a father, you know, 9 to 5 working, and you know, just a family man. You know, I remain a father and a family man, but like I came back to the game, and I figured out how to master the Rubik's Cube a little bit, you know. So Straight No Chaser is actually album number 6, because it's actually album number 6 because right after Gray Hairs, we drop more Gray Hairs.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So like we dropped those 3 other albums, and those albums didn't have the same fanfare as, you know, Gray Hairs and the Rex album, and then Straight No Chaser. But yeah, I just wanted to throw that in there. Straight No Chaser though was definitely growth for me. I agree with you. It was definitely a growth period. I wouldn't say so much the commentary though. I would say more so, you know, the penmanship and the ability to create with my craft. But like, I was still a little immature in my views, even though I had grown. In every album, you can hear some growth, but like that was still a immature trying to find myself Rex.
You could tell.
Yeah.
You could tell. So you got a lot of versatility when it comes to making albums. How does Rex, what's the process for Rex to create an album?
Before I feel the temperature of what the environment is I'm in, and like, you know, kind of like where I want to like kind of bring topics, my topical matter. Before anything, I come up with titles. Like, you know, I got the title of my next album already, like in my brain, and I'm like, okay, I know the kind of ideas I want to do for that project, the kind of people I want to work with, if it's at all possible. So I start coming in. I used to do it on scraps of paper. Now I'm not gonna lie. I'm in my phone. I got my little notepad in my phone, and I'm like in the phone, and I'm like, you know, I would love to work with this producer or that producer, and you know, get this homie from my neighborhood who I never got to work with, but we've been saying we're gonna make it happen for a long period of time, and so I just start thinking of ideas like that. With, you know, take for instance Straight No Chaser, I was going through a divorce, like a separation, and preparing for, you know, a new chapter in my life. And so the music always mirrors and marries what's going on in my personal life and also what's going on in the environment around me. So, and I think that's why it's so easy for me to be able to always have material to come out with, because the music is always going to have that template to work with. You know, what's going on in my life and what's going on in the environment around us, and it kind of marries all those different concepts. And then, you know, from that, it also incorporates, you know, what I'm studying, and now what I'm practicing, my rituals, and my inner searching with my spirituality allows me to, you know, delve into a lot more deeper themes. So yeah.
You're comfortable, man.
Yeah, I'm getting in a good pocket. But I'm never settling. I'm never like in that comfort. There's still that hunger inside. Not to be corny about, like, you know what, you know, the new title is, but like, yo, that hunger, it remains in me. You know, at my age, a lot of cats, they teeter off. They're not really trying to be in the lion's den. I'm still in the lion's den, fam.
Yeah, you could definitely tell. I'm gonna skip, right?
Okay.
The greatest X.
Okay.
Explain that.
The greatest unknown, like, you know, throughout the whole path, I was like, you know, I'm always hearing this, you know, like this connection to, like, you know, one of the most slept on rappers. You know what I'm saying? Yo, you gotta. Whenever I'm hearing people talk dialogue, or whenever I would dap up fans or my peers in the rap game, they always come at me with that, you know, that talk about you know, my less than visible my less than visibility in this culture, even though, like, you know, I've, you know, established myself as one of those go-to with the pen and with the creativity, and the music has always been quality and quantity. So I was just like, you know, I just wanted to, you know, culminate and do a double disc album and show that I could do so much material. I could put out a vast majority of material and keep it consistent and solid throughout the work and throughout the soundscape, and just, you know, another stake in my claim album. Like, you know, that, like, look, when the things are written about us, you know, 20, 30, 40 years from now, and people are looking back and studying the music, I want to have music and albums that people would look at and they'd be like, they're still dissecting. You know?
It's genius, man. That's not easy to do. To keep the narrative, keep everything going, keep the same plot. You did a great job with that.
I appreciate that.
The new album.
Yeah.
You're happy.
I am.
You're where you want to be.
Yeah, King, I am.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
You feel like you built the fort that you wanted to be in.
Yeah.
You're in another state of mind, man. Your accomplishments, you're reaping the accomplishments now at this time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tell us about this album.
The new album is The Hunger Inside Never Gets Satisfied. It's T.H.I.N.G.S. That's the acronym for it. The Hunger Inside Never Gets Satisfied. It's released on Brick Records, who I've worked with forever, / my new label, which is BMGI. That's Bully's Music Group Incorporated. We always doing the acronyms. So this album is, like, I feel like it's the most cohesive one I've had to date. It's definitely the most sonically put together project I've released to date. And I'm just like, yeah, I feel like I gave people, you know, the energy of me as the boom bap artist, but like more of the stripped down instrumentation of today's sound. Case in point, the Legacy driven record that Evidence did with the stripped down, just the sax playing, simplicity of that record, but mirroring the simplicity of the dialogue that I'm speaking. Those kind of records are not a normal Rex soundscape. So it was incredible to be able to do records like that, and for people be accepting of hearing me over those kind of records. And I just love the evolution of the record and the way it plays out from the beginning to end. And you can hear the joy of, like, having, you know, my village being a major part of it. You know, you hear my son's voice on the intro, my other son's voice, you know, further down on the record, Brotherly Love. And, you know, throughout this whole project, my queen and my young queen, they were in the studio with me throughout many of the sessions, and they played a major part in, like, you know, being like, you know, yeah, we love that, we love what you did with this, and being part of the executive production of the project. So, you know, it was really a village movement. My whole tribe helped with this. We like to say a tribe called Rex. You know what I'm saying? Like, nice. the squad is a tribe called Rex. You know what I'm saying? And we really we move as a unit, and that's visible throughout things.
Yes, because this album here, to me, it's my favorite Rex album.
Thank you, King. Thank you.
And don't take that, you know, that just shows the longevity that you have. And I still think you have a lot more, man. I still think you have a lot more in you.
Yeah, I'm not going nowhere. I'm not going nowhere. So, but, like, yes, I really value you saying that, because I'm very proud of the discography that I've put out. When I sit back, if I ever decide to like, you know, wrap it up and be like, I'm just gonna chill, read my books under a beautiful tree, you know what I'm saying, in the night sky. And when I get there, I'm gonna get there and I'm gonna be pleasant, and I'm gonna be happy. But I know that I can look back and say that I gave my all, and like I love what I did. But this album, it definitely sits different. I feel it's like I said, a culmination of everything that I've done, and I feel incredible in knowing that the response to the project has been kind of that.
And it also depends. The way you receive an album is how you feel, right?
Yeah,
I was able to relate to your album because I'm at the point in my life that I'm the happiest that I could ever be. I'm at
that's
peace.
beautiful.
I'm at peace. I'm like, it's the greatest feeling in the world. So when I heard the sounds and the lyrics and everything, I was like, man, Rex is hitting home right now.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So,
I mean, it loves to feel. I just want to say I'm happy for your joy, brother. It's like that's a beautiful thing that you're in that pocket, you know. And for me, a lot of it was like, yo, you know, I had a lot of personal issues I was dealing with throughout my life. A lot of struggles that a lot of people don't come back from. You know, like they fall into certain levels of depression, or you know, they get discouraged. And I could have fell into these into these holes and these lows because of the pitfalls that have happened throughout my life. However, you know, I looked at every circumstance that ever came before me, every bump in the road. I looked at it as opportunity, you know. And you know, as many times as I fell down, I always got up and was like, yo, listen, I'm gonna make myself sharper because of this little pitfall. You know, I always tell my young kings, when you make a mistake, you own it, your head is up, like it's your mistake. You know what I'm saying? You know it's your mistake, own that mistake, and let's get past that mistake now. Let's figure out how the next time that doesn't occur this way. And it's a lot of seasoning. I got a 10-year-old, so it's repetition. You know what I mean? It's like 3, 4, 5 times of the same mistake before it's like, okay, you know, now I'm get into the jewelry, you know what I'm saying? Get into the gems. And understanding a lot better. So like when I have those issues in my life, I just look at it, like I said, as opportunity. And I feel joyous right now with everything that's going on in our life. You know what I mean?
that is beautiful. That is beautiful. So tell me, what does Rex do? I know you mentioned yoga, you're doing spiritual. Tell me, what's a health day like on an everyday basis for you? What do you do health wise?
Early mornings, smoothies. Like I like to, like in my smoothies, the majority of my smoothies consist of wheatgrass. I do some sort of super greens. You know, I switch up the variety of fruits that I do in the morning. I don't usually do my greens in the morning. I'll do a super green like powder, like with a mixture of like kale, moringa, some like, you know, different things of that nature, some arugula, and then I also add, you gotta have chia seeds. Gotta have my chia seeds, because chia seeds are like, you know, they potent for antioxidants and what incredible things they do for your body. We use a lot of sea moss in the home, drink a lot of teas. I love it, beautiful. So a lot of sea moss in the home. We're actually in the process of creating and making my queen. She's a gem. She's actually like really mastering what it's going to take for us to start making our own sea moss. And, you know, she does a lot of the skincare products, like homemade, you know, facial treatments and products for the skin in general and for the hair. I got a sister who also is on that wave, so they're working on things in unison. But segued off a little bit, what I do in my day, you know, early morning, I do my smoothies, I do my teas. I wake up for me it's pretty early, between 6:30, 7 o'clock is usually my start of my day. Of late, since we moved, I haven't been as consistent on my morning yoga sessions, but like when I get back to it the way I want it. I'm going to be outside with my yoga in the morning, my meditation, waking up with the sunrise. I do my salutations, my sun salutations. I do my mantras, and I give my salutations to our ancestors and our elders. Give them their flowers on a daily basis. I speak out their names. I do my chants, and then, you know, obviously I make sure that I'm one with the supreme all of everything. You know, then from there, you know, time with the Young Kings, they're doing at the present time they're doing virtual home learning. That's going to change within the next week. You know, I make sure that my youngest, the 10-year-old, is like all set up for, like, you know, his day. He's pretty independent, so he does the majority of what he needs to do. But, like, you know, I assist him where I can. You know, make him a little breakfast, and then, you know, my daily eating, obviously I don't eat anything meat based, don't eat anything dairy based. Everything is vegan, for lack of a better term, plant based, really. You know, focused on that. A lot of legumes, a lot of greenery, a lot of colorful things enter our body. You know, a lot of colorful things, and obviously water consistently. I still drink. I make sure that I'm making sure I drink the right amounts of waters and put the right things in my body, because I do drink. You know, I'm a whiskey man. I'll drink.
Oh, you like whiskey? Okay.
That's my little vice right there.
Hey, no problem.
That's my little vice right there. But, like, yeah, other than that, like, you know, I'm on my consistent yoga, and then daily I'm reading. Like, I don't know if I have any books around here. Now, I have no books right here. Usually there's books everywhere.
There you go. So you always feeding the mind, man. Always feeding the mind. I'm always reading.
I read a lot of spiritual books, a lot of books from the stock market, and hey, we should build. I'm consistent with the stock market. I got my oldest. He's reading some stock stuff now, giving him a lot of stock tips on investments and what have you. And so mind, body, spirit on a consistent basis. That's the really go-to. And I'm also, another health and wellness thing is, like, you know, I use the app Duolingo. For those who know what Duolingo is, it's a language app. I've been learning German for the past 3 years, and I've been learning Spanish for a few years. I should know Spanish fluently. I grew up in a town full of, like, Dominicans, Puerto Ricans. I should know it. Okay,
there you go. There you go.
I should know it fluently, but I don't. So, like, I'm working on those languages.
Yeah, I'm into that kind of stuff too. That is amazing, man. You're so well-rounded, man.
I appreciate it.
So tell us, like, if you could talk to the younger people that are coming up now in the industry, what would you tell them?
Above all else, don't let anybody break your creative spirit. That's the first thing I would say. Do what your heart wants to do. Then I would say, don't just master your art. Master the jobs that you see individuals doing that you know you're going to need them for. Like, so what I mean by that is, like, the management side of things. Even if you're going to get a manager, learn that job, learn that position, learn that job, learn the A&R's job, learn the publicist's job, learn every aspect of it, so you can become the new Renaissance individual, young kings and queens of this earth. The legacy really needs to focus on mastering all of that, knowing your business, knowing about your royalties, knowing about every nuance of the game. You should master for yourself, so you're not outsourcing all of this work. You're not going to individuals. I got a brother by the name of Andre X, who's down with our BMGI label, and he's a Renaissance man. Like, he shoots his own videos. He does his own graph work. You know what I'm saying? He's a singer, he's a rapper, he's a producer, he's an engineer. And this is what artists are becoming nowadays. And I would just say master all of it. There's none of it that you don't need. Like anybody who says, oh, you know, if you're going to be a producer, just be a producer. That's nonsense. You can do what you want. My son right now, he's producing, he's making, he's writing rhymes, and now he wants to get into the engineering aspect. So he's taking those little tools and figuring it out on his own. And then, like I told you, he's in that stock book. So like I'm like, yo, learn every aspect of all of this. So like, yo, you can master all of that and be your own business, be your own brand, and you know, function independently. That's what I would say to the youth.
How about that? Those are great words. Those are knowledgeable words, man.
Right.
So Rex, since you've been in the industry for so long, could you take us out with a story, an exclusive story that you never told before?
I don't know if I have any that I've never told. I know a lot of stories. I can tell a story about my brother Terminology, how we were on our way to Canada for a tour, and this was right before the tour happened. And so, you know, various trips to the local bodega in Brooklyn to bag up on 22s of Becks and Heinekens and Stellas, and then making sure that we had the Hennessy bottles on deck, right? So we're going to the corner store doing that. Plus, like at the time I was smoking cigarettes, so I'm pretty sure I was copping some cigarettes or whatever, what have you. I go in the store with, I believe, Deadeye, DJ Deadeye. So we come out of the store, Term's like lagging behind or whatever. There's a cop car out here, and Term goes to kick the cop car, kicks the cop car, but slips, falls, breaks his arm.
What?
Right? Breaks his arm like on the curb or something. He breaks his arm. Like we get back to the crib, he's like, yo, this is killing me. This is crazy. Like, yo, we got a flight in like, you know, an hour and a half. We can't go to no doctors right now. You know what I'm saying? So like he's in excruciating pain. I'm like, man, you fronting. Like we brushing him off. Like he's exaggerating. We get off the airport, he goes straight to the hospital. They put him in a sling, broken arm. Oof. Does the whole tour with the broken arm. You know what I'm saying? G'd up, like, yo, didn't wrap up anything, just did it all G'd up, and like came out of that with mad love. People's like, yo, that's dope. That you like, you know, literally we were about to get on a flight, and yo, he could have just, you know, been like, I'm off this, but like, yo, we had to get to that paper, get to that work, get to that get to them fans, and that's what he did. And I salute my twin, my brother, for doing that. You know what I'm saying? For rocking out. He could have bowed out.
Could have bowed out. Oh,
he could have bowed out, but he was G'd up.
That's an amazing story. We appreciate that.
Yeah, indeed.
Well, Rex, man, we appreciate you stopping by on Let's Chop It Up with Zais.
Yo,
we value you, and it was your day today.
That was beautiful, man. I thank you again. Anything you need my end, you let me know, and we'll make it happen, yo.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that, brother. Stay on, all right? Stay on.
I got you.
I'ma press play every time. A day in a life.
My shorty made me 10 bands this week. Yo, my shorty made me 10 bands and she don't sell pussy. Who cares who your man is, you still pussy.
Who?
Bank deposit since Hasbro signed us.
What?
We with the deals, that's where you can find us. I used to cut kids in the face with razors. Far from Westwood, much different behavior. Briefing in the morning like the Oval Office. Secret society, son, my niggas bosses. Top of the morning, where the money? Had to curve, son, he sleep too much, he act funny. Son, you too militant, not how's that? 99% of motherfuckers don't got your back. Why hold us slack when I can hold his gap? Pop a motherfucker that's holding his back. Back, motherfucker, Iceman is here. Back the fuck up, back the fuck up. Pull up to the trap in a hoopty, 50 bands on me. Counter intelligence, don't want the man on me. Pause, cause and effect, homie. No new friends, I move up by my lonely. Meth heads outside the Phoenix house, while the cokeheads outside Makiva's house. Jumped out, Arabic dial, AP. My son got the Lockman, his chain is 80G. Left the Diamond District, headed to Bed-Stuy. The block got indicted, nobody knows why. My niggas say talk that Illuminati shit, get you hit, get your mommy hit. My niggas say talk that Illuminati shit, get you hit, get your mommy hit. My niggas say talk that Illuminati shit,
get you hit, get your mommy hit.